So, Got Boost got released basically at this point 2 weeks ago. And I think now is probably like the perfect time to talk about this current trend within the music video releases for the Kamen Rider openings and such. To which, while it's nice that we do get these music videos released on YouTube, the only caveat now is that they're under the name of artist only version. Now this technically started with Saber, where they did release Almighty the Mask Promise. I'm sorry for using the English translation, where they called it the special edit. And what they meant by special edit is that they cut Saber out. Obviously, at this point, they've been more straightforward with what the version of the music video they put up is now. So, I appreciate that. But let's just quickly go over as to why Avex basically decided to do this. The number one reason is that, obviously, they would rather want people to buy the physical versions of the singles and buy up the CD DVD versions. Basically, if you so badly want to see the writer in the music video, just go buy it. And I think second of all, this is kind of my speculation, I think it's just that Avex probably doesn't want to introduce the audience of these established artists of theirs to Kamen Rider. Like, it's not that they don't want to, but it's just like, I don't know, like, it's just kind of weird that they don't, because like in a way it's just kind of weird that they basically are blocking a potential way of promoting both the artist and the writer, the Kamen Rider show that's airing that year, to this group of already dedicated fans, because you could potentially get more people to actually watch the show that way. Because, like, yeah, some people might tune into the show because they're like, hey, this song is going to play into the show. But, like, what about the people that already don't follow up on that and just stumble upon the music video and see this suited character? I think that's a lot better of an intrigue as opposed to just, oh, I guess I have to watch this show now because their song is playing on this show. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, admittedly, I have to say this is a lot better than what was happening within like the last 4 years of Heisei, where Ghost, X8, Build, and Geo just basically scrubbed the fact they were Kamen Rider songs in the first place. But with this, I want to go over the music videos for Saber, Revice, Gotchard, and Gov, and talk about their screen time and just how they had to like edit them out. Not exactly, but just like how many edits they had to do to like edit them out and such. Obviously, the ones we are excluding out of this topic are 01, Geats, and Black Sun. We will talk about Black Sun first because I know it's kind of ridiculous we are mentioning Black Sun. Did you see the sunrise? Obviously does not feature the suits from Black Sun. However, it's the only thing of Black Sun I've seen, and it's really good music video, so go watch that. Trust Lass is 100% composed of the rider suits. So we do not need to go over how they had to edit out any of like the Geats writers and such. Realize does have a music video, but it's also subtitled as a special movie, as it's mainly just a clip show with extensive edits and new insert shots of 01, Vulcan, and Valkyrie. No one bothered to rip it, and the only one that did rip it uploaded it to Billy, so I apologize for the horrible quality. So let's start up with Almighty the Mask Promise, to which Saber approximately had screen time of 1 minute and 16 seconds, because most of his insert shots are just of him standing or like just swinging Rekka around. And then like I did have to include one scene of where it's just the tip of Rekka in frame. I feel like that has to count. And then the main majority of that is actually of where Saber actually walks up to the podium and such, and then like a group shot. So obviously I'll explain this for this one extensively. I'll try not to go over it with the others just because it's all the same thing of where obviously for what they do to edit the writer out of these music videos is that they either extend pre-existing like footage of that artist in place of where the space of where that writer was. They rearrange certain clips to fill in the absence of the suit, and just overall just use footage that doesn't have the writer. And speaking of that with Saber, they approximately had to do 29 edits to remove Saber out of his own music video. Moving on with Live Devil from Revice. This one is a lot more simpler in terms of how they had to edit out Revice and Vice, especially because of how simple this music video is as a whole. And from this point on of measuring like screen time and such, there's more than one writer, so we just collectively combine their time because I don't really think there's a point of doing them separately because most of the time they're kind of on par with each other. And obviously for the case of Vice, we're not counting Kimura Subaru's screen time because I don't think anyone wants that. But Revice and Vice together had a duration of 31 seconds of screen time, and that's just because most of their shots are quick cuts and barely last a second. I do appreciate they're at least present throughout the music video, which is why I feel like the artist version of Live Devil is probably the flattest one of this lineup. Because of it already being simple and monochrome, the pacing just feels kind of slow. And there's nothing eye-popping anymore because Revice and Vice have been removed. So, like, the artist version of Live Devil just feels like a slog. And I almost forgot. There had to been about 23 edits to remove Revice and Vice out of their own music video. Gotchard's an interesting case because I actually didn't really account for the amount of edits they had to do because the normal music video and the artist version are practically their own like videos, because the original music video has a narrative that revolves around like the Gotchard stuff. The original music video has a narrative ongoing revolving around the Kemi story Kemi cards. And obviously, stripping that out, the artist version is literally just the artist version. But they actually do a lot more to like emphasize on that by including new close-ups that weren't present in the original music video. So it was kind of difficult to like really count this as like, oh, they took the same two videos and like changed things. Like, yeah, obviously like they're probably laid out the same, but like there's like a significant chunk of the original music video that obviously they have to substitute out for the artist version. So again, we're just gonna have to go with the approximation of like 30 edits, but it's like no duh, they had to edit it out. And to put this in like, I guess in a different means, let's talk about K-pop. So in like the early 2010s, companies started putting out like just the normal music video and dance versions of the music videos. Dance versions of the music videos are obviously dance versions and were a lot more simpler in terms of presentation, because instead of a bunch of like insert shots of members or like settings, it was just basically most of the time relegated to like 2 to 3 settings or even 1. But it's just obviously the whole point is that it's just focusing on the dance and such. So you get like simple like pan ins and pan outs and such, as opposed to all these like drastic like cinematic shots and such. Obviously, the only one I have on hand is aespa's Armageddon. So if we can put it up, as you can see with this segment, with the performance version, you can tell it's a lot more, it's still shot the same like the normal music video, but they just took different bits of like what was not used in the original music video and putting it in place of that segment and such. And with that, Gotchard, Majade, and Valorad, the three of them collectively had a screen time of 37 seconds, which makes sense. They show up in the beginning for the first group shot. Gotchard shows up in the climax, and then Majade and Valorad show up, and it concludes with another group shot. Like, surprisingly, I was expecting them to show up more, but hey, they at least showed up for 6 more seconds in Revice. Now, last week we got Boost, to which I think this one was probably done the smartest way, even though it is kind of like, you can kind of feel it as depressing. It's just because the way that Boost's music video is formatted is that they basically made it so that only the chorus prioritizes showing off Gav and Valen. And then most of the time, which is like 80% of their appearances, they're just in the background. So, which obviously makes it easy for the editors just to like simply like switch that out with the like Boost text they had and such. And obviously for like any insert shots, they just simply either put in new inserts of the members or elongate existing shots and such. And then the case of here too, like there's only like one like shot or like one scene of Gav and Valen with the group. So they just simply need to switch it out. And like honestly, I think it's actually it's definitely smart. It's so then the editors didn't have to do so much work on themselves. And because of that, Gav and Valen collectively have a screen time of 52 seconds. Again, you have to keep in mind, most of that is them in the background. And then I had to account for one scene where you can only see like Valen's like collar at like a small inch on the television. And like was said, because when you put these two music videos together and like just how easy they made it for themselves, they only had to do about like 17 edits, which is not, I will still probably put it at like 25, but like they really made it simple for themselves. But overall, like I just kind of like comparing and contrasting like variants of a music video, just because I think it's really fun just kind of seeing like what the editors had to do, or like what the editors like chose to include and like what they had to replace and such. Because I don't know, it's just stuff like that is just kind of fascinating and such. And like it's kind of nice to see this with like writer music videos, I guess, even if like it is unfortunate. Like, yeah, the only way we can actually see the writers is through buying the physical version of these singles, which is why I've been for the most part, I've been trying to like keep up with these opening singles and such, because I do like collecting. I do like owning a version of like these music videos with the writers, as opposed to just going to YouTube and such. Like, obviously someone will upload them to YouTube, but I think most of the time it's actually going to be a lot more difficult to do that for. And like, yeah, like either way, like people obviously are going to know that these are songs for Kamen Rider and such, but like, I don't know, I just think like the touch of having like the writer actually present in the music video is just like, did I already say, like, it's like that cherry on top and such. It just solidifies like this is a Kamen Rider music video and such. Again, I'm glad that we're at this like happy medium of where, yes, we can have a like full-on Kamen Rider music video, but then like also like for the sake of the artists and such, like have their own version for like people that just only are there for the song and not for the fact that this is like a part of Kamen Rider and such. But yeah, I think I got everything I wanted to say. It's doing these videos are always difficult because like I always have to do these unscripted and such, so I always have to do multiple recording sessions and such, and like this is so long.